What's crackin' peeps? I'm Hawkie, or otherwise known as Kiv, and today I wanted to talk to you all about a serious problem when it comes to the Xbox One, and this one's gonna be about storage issues. So let's just jump right into it. So just to get the gameplay out of the way, we've got some Bal on comeback. I know it's not particularly what you guys want to see, however, these kids were being real fags. I'm gonna be honest, they were fags, probably, because they was just using the worst, most overpowered guns against me. I played one game when I got into a lobby with the AMR9, a submachine gun that isn't particularly too good, because I was using it because I don't want to particularly use OP guns, or guns that are labeled as being overpowered, because I don't want to be a kind of person that just uses an overpowered gun and thinks that he's top shit. No, I was using a not so good gun, and then these kids were just being real fags to me, so I said, bugger it, I'm going to whip out the Bal, and I'm going to teach them some discipline, backhand them all in the face with it, and then we'll see how they go. So that's pretty much what happened in this game. I pulled out the Bal, I had a sniper on the overkill class, just in case, for some long-range combat. So with that gameplay out of the way, let's just jump right into the video, which is going to be about Xbox One storage issues. So for those of you that have PlayStation 4s, this may not apply as much. I don't know the specifics, but you guys might also have a bit of a problem when it comes to storage issues as well. So as many of you that play on the Xbox One, and since it came out a decent amount of time ago, we're slowly building up our Xbox One game collection, and installing them all as you would normally to play the game. However, this isn't particularly as amazing of a system as you may think it to be, because on the 360 you could play games off the disc, and you could go back to games whenever you wanted. However, on the Xbox One that might not be as possible unless you have some more storage space issued. Now, what do I mean by this? I'll explain later, but the main problem is that when you install the game, you take up space on your hard drive. Now, you can't play the game unless you have that game installed. I'm not too sure if it installs it on the cloud, and or if that's just the progress in the game that's stored on the cloud, but either way, you can't particularly play the game without the disc and all that jazz. But you guys generally get the gists of it, right? You have to install the game. So this becomes a bit of a problem when you've got too many games for the actual storage space. You have to actually delete off a couple so that way you have more room. Now, that's what happened to me not too long ago. I had to delete off a couple of things so that way I would have more room. At the time, I didn't particularly think too much of it because it was just deleting the Destiny beta, because I already had the full game, so what's the point of having the beta on there, right? You wouldn't be allowed access anyway, so where's the longevity of this? Am I just supposed to delete off my least played game and install the next one, where I can't go back to the other one that I just deleted because I won't have the game installed? There's not really any longevity to it. So I did some research and I came to the conclusion of using an external hard drive, which is a bit more expensive, but for those of you like myself that like to go back and revisit the older games like Halo 4 or older Call of Duties such as Black Ops 1 or World at War, then maybe a bit of Dragon Age on the side, this is probably going to be your best solution, because the idea is to have more storage space instead of having to delete off things and replace them constantly, which is just going to be an extremely time-consuming process and very annoying. So that's why the idea of an external hard drive is considered. However, I did read up that on the Xbox One, it has to be more than 256 gigabytes for it to be used as game storage. Otherwise, it'll just consider it as music and media storage, which is not going to be able to store your games. It won't actually let you. So it has to be a big or decently big hard drive for you to store your games on it. So that's something to definitely consider if you're going to get one of those, because this affects gamers who play offline and online, because you still have to install your games regardless. A big part of this also is involved in the PS4 as well. I'm not sure why, but some people were saying that they aren't compatible on, some hard drives aren't compatible with it. I'm not sure if it was something similar to the Xbox One and how it has to be, a certain size before it can be considered for game storage. I don't know, but a couple of guys on forums were saying that some hard drives aren't compatible. I don't particularly know why they were saying this. They didn't have any evidence, but I'm not a PS4 user, so for those of you that are, that's something you should try and keep in mind in case you're a bit concerned, just to let you guys know and give you a heads up. Also, when it comes to the external hard drive, these things do vary in cost. However, I would recommend something along the lines of 500 gigabytes, which is around about the same storage space as the Xbox One, or 1 terabyte if you can afford it. And this just goes into your USB port. However, on the Microsoft support side, it did tell you it's recommended that you use USB 3.0. For those of you that don't exactly know what USB 3.0 is, well, you can tell the difference between that and a normal USB because it has kind of a bluish line on the inside of the metal part, as shown in this image. Now, the color of the cable doesn't particularly matter, but the main way to tell is that because of the blue line inside the metal part, in case you guys don't particularly know. I'm not sure if it won't work with 2.0, but it still should. But I'm thinking that 3.0 is just for faster installations or something, so that way data can move there a bit faster than the normal 2.0. So once you've got yourself a hard drive like that with a good amount of storage space for your games, above 256 gigabytes, then what you do is you'll plug it in, and the Xbox One should take you through a little bit of a setup guide, and that way you can set it up as a storage device for your games, which will be all nice, fine, and dandy. Just one more thing also is I did a bit of research for the PlayStation 4 users, and there is this kind of little company-made hard drive thing that kind of goes on top of your PS4 and makes it look, I guess, somewhat decent compared to keeping an external hard drive with a USB plugged in on the back. So it looks a bit better, and here's an image to show you guys what it looks like as well. So I'm not particularly sure how this one, works or differs in terms of size. I don't know the exact details, but that might be something you guys would want to look into if you're a PlayStation 4 user, because I want to try and help you PS4 guys out, even though we have kind of a bit of a console war between us Xbox One and you PS4 guys. We're all trying to game and have a good time with that, so we shouldn't be restricted just because of storage space. So yeah, that just about brings this video to an end. I hope that you all enjoyed it, and make sure that you leave a like, comment, favorite, and or subscription. It does mean a lot to me, as well as making me feel nice, warm, and fuzzy on the inside. So that's just about it from me. I thank you all for watching once again, and I'll see you all on the next episode. I've been Ace Hawk, or otherwise known as Kiv, and I'm out.